this current version of you, today's version of you, has to become so aligned that it needs to neutralize the part of you from your past. This, my friend, is the biggest fight of all. Question for you. Which one do you listen to? He who hesitates is lost. Number one. Number two, look before you leap. So one side you're hearing, he who hesitates is lost. Other side you're hearing, look before you leap. Which one do you listen to? The ideas that I'm going to share with you today has helped me build companies with valuations of $5 million or above. And my clients collectively create billions of dollars in valuation and individually create more than $100 million. So listen to this till the end. So really understand the value of this. So here is the idea. Somebody is saying, look before you leap. So which means before you leap, you have to actually look. Another proverb says, he who hesitates is lost. What's the problem? These are conflicting messages, which means before you leap, you have to look. And then if you hesitate, then you're lost too. This is called conflict of psychology. So what does that mean? Which means that if you have to do two things at the same time, you cannot do that. So as a human, we are not directional. We're confused like a drop. So think about it this way. You want to do something and you want to go in this direction. The moment you want to go in the direction, your mind, your body wants to go in the opposite direction. And then it is pulling you to a different direction. And then you're pulling yourself to another direction. So human experience is conflicting by itself. Your mind is conflicted by itself. And because of the fact that your mind is conflicted by itself, these people who wrote these proverbs, like look before you leap, he who hesitates is lost. They are conflicted too. Because they are conflicted, they're giving you conflicting message. And because they are giving you conflicting message, and if you're buying this conflicting message, you don't get nowhere. If you really want to move your life to the next level, you have to transition from that into this. So think about it this way. Imagine your life is like this. You are this triangle where you are moving in one direction as a species. So as a species, you are moving forward in one direction. What does that mean? What it means is your body, your mind is in the direction of your soul. So you came here for a purpose. And if you don't believe in soul, believe in the direction of nature, the way nature wants you to be going. So think about it this way. Your body and your mind need to go in the direction how universe or nature has assigned as your purpose. So what happens is these proverbs that are confusing, looking before you leap, and then hesitating before action. These proverbs is furthering your psychological confusion, furthering your psychological conflict. And because it is furthering your psychological conflict, what happens is you feel stuck. You feel stuck. There is an inner conflict inside of you that is stopping you from doing so. And you're like, really? I'm always committed. I'm always working hard. I'm spending 40 hours, 80 hours a week to grow my business to the next level. Yes, that is exactly why you need to change this. Because if you're spending 80 hours, your business is not moving forward, there might be an inner conflict that you're not seeing. And unless and until you really go into your psyche and look for conditioning. And what I shared is just an example. He who hesitates is lost versus look before you leap. It's a conflict. These are obvious conflicts when you look at it. When you don't look at it, you don't even see that. Look at what are the patterns that you have learned from your parents, from your mom especially, from your teachers that you really loved or really hated, that is creating conflict in you. What is pulling you back? What is a belief that is pulling you back? What are the values that are getting conflicted with each other? So I have this quote where I say, we are not fighting with the force of nature. People talk about astrology, they check about everything that happens astrologically, is the right time and things like that. Generally, it might be a good idea, generally speaking, but you are far superior as a species. So Mars has gravitation force, Earth has gravitation force, and gravitation force can have effect on some experiences. I'm not saying it is not, there will be, but Mars doesn't have something called consciousness. You do have consciousness. You are the only species in this planet, in this, at least in this galaxy that we know of, that has consciousness. Mars doesn't have consciousness. So if you have two animals, one is conscious, one is like not conscious, which one is superior? The one that is conscious. Very, very simple, right? But we give weightage to the unconscious planet's gravitational force. So then why is life not moving forward as I want it? Probably numerous reasons. But one reason is that you are a consciousness that is fighting with itself. So any tribe or any country that fights among itself will not win. Any country that fights against itself will not win. This is why when you have civil wars, when countries fight against itself, there's no growth. They are stuck. They cannot move forward. Same way, imagine you are a country, okay? The country of you. The country of you fighting against itself. You are not going to win and grow to the next level. And the more conflict you have, more fight you are putting against yourself. So then you'll be like, what does that even really mean? I'm not fighting against myself. I'm like always in alignment. I do visualizations and I do meditations. I do all kind of things to grow my business life to the next level. What are you even talking about? What I'm talking about is the idea of you of today is not the idea of you yesterday. So think about the you from yesterday. This is a yesterday you. This is a today you. This is a day before yesterday you. Day before. Okay. And then it goes on like that. Think about it this way. This you from today, believe it or not, is conflicted with the you from yesterday. Is conflicted the you from day before yesterday. Is conflicted from the you from 1 year ago, from the you from 10 years ago. Okay, which means that every in time, imagine this is a timeline of your life, In the timeline of your life, you are constantly changing. So what does that mean? If I'm constantly changing, it's good, right? It's awesome, right? Because I'm adapting and becoming a new person. That's so cool. But the energy of this existence is still here in your psyche. This human being was manifesting, let's say, a bike. That is the best this person can imagine. And this person is imagining a Ferrari. It's a conflict. So now this current version of you, today's version of you, has to become so aligned that it needs to neutralize the part of you from your past. This, my friend, is the biggest fight of all. One more time. The fight against yourself that you do day in and day out, wearing yourself out, draining your energy, is the biggest fight of all. You are not fighting with an external force. You're not fighting with the Mars. Okay, of course, there is an element of fight there, very minimal. It is nothing compared to the fight that you have for yourself. For example, imagine somebody says, nutritional food is really bad for you. You'll be like, what the heck? Why are you talking about like that? But nutritional food in excess is really bad for you, right? But even if you take the most nutritional food, if you eat like too much, it could become bad, right? The same way, gravitational force from another planet, from universe, might affect you, influence you in some way. It is 1 by 1,000. I don't have a number, statistical data to prove this, but I'm saying it is significantly less powerful than the forces that you put against yourself. Because as you evolve, this person had a lot of fear. This person was fearful. And that fear is fighting with your current self. So in other words, every moment of your existence, tomorrow you are becoming a different person. Think about this as 6 decades or 3 decades of your life. 3 decades of your life, you're 30. 6 decades if you are 60. 8 decades if you are 80. So think about it this way, or 22 decades. Every moment of your life, you have been evolving from one level, one person, to another person, to another person, to another person, to another person, another person, another person. This collection of individuals are you. And this collection of individuals all want different things. Okay? Imagine this individual wants to stay unhealthy. This individual wants to stay poor. This individual wants to go forward. This individual wants to be rich. This individual, different parts want different things, creating a big mess. So the conflict in proverb is just a metaphor of the larger picture of how conflicted we are. Imagine a species called human. This is you. This is me. This is another human being. Another human being. Imagine these human beings, yet another human being. Okay. This is another human being. And yet another human being. We are a collection of confused people. And since we are a collection of confused people who are trying to figure out life, and since we are collectively conflicted, we don't even see it. Isn't it fascinating? Yeah. So that's why unpacking this information is going to change your life. So what do I do? Like, I understand the idea. Okay, what do I do? What you do is you need to look at yourself. Look at yourself and become in alignment with yourself. Look for conflict in you and resolve them. Because if you look at life, most conflicts are nothing but 2 point of views, the left and right, the communist and the capitalist, socialist and the extreme capitalist, the right wing and the left wing. So these are like polarizing ideas that we keep in our mind, so we stay conflicted. But ultimately, what is everybody looking for? Everybody is looking for justice. Everybody is looking for everyone to be happy. That's what we're looking for. So if you look for a conflict within you, understand that you're looking for your well-being, looking for a better life. That's all you want anyway. So if there are things in the past that you're fighting against, drop that fight and let go and say, you know what? Anything that you wanted in the past, you don't want anymore, just let it go. You want to achieve a goal and it didn't happen, just let it go. Allow universe to work. If that goal has to be worked out, she will work it out. So let her figure it out. Let universe figure it out. Versus you're holding on to past grudge, past fight, past things, creating conflict within you. So drop the conflict. Life will move forward really fast. I know this was kind of a psychological idea, but it's really, really important to understand the psychology in order to win your life and move to the next level. If you want to move forward, create massive wealth for you, massive opportunity for you, get rid of the conflict and move forward. And start looking for conflicts and resolving them. When I say look for conflict, don't look for conflict every time so that conflict grow. Idea is look at it and you're like, oh yeah, there is a conflict of belief here, conflict of value here, conflict of who I am versus who I was. Resolve it, accept this current self fully, accept your current self fully so that you could really move forward. See you next time.